Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Real Crypto. Very interesting and I will say telling day in the markets today. It's really quite apparent that Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin is the big dog. Bitcoin is the leader of this market, up or down. So any thoughts to the contrary, at least in my opinion, are pretty much moot. And yeah, it's pretty much Bitcoin and everything else is just trying to stay afloat. At least in the market right now, that's what it looks like. Really, with the Bitcoin fork coming on the next couple of weeks, this move we've had in Bitcoin, let's take a closer look at it. We're on the 2-hour chart here, everybody. We had Bitcoin 5,000 right here, Bitcoin 5,000. We broke out in an insane move, even for Bitcoin, I think, at this level, 20% in like a day. It was just a phenomenal move. Had a pretty nice and tight consolidation, a big shakeout down here. We came right back, really no issues, and then we started coming down. And we came down pretty hard and pretty fast. Fortunately for us, the volume was pretty light in this pullback. We had this kind of nice rounded top action happening here, and it didn't start accelerating really until this bar. And then we get this nice bottoming bar in much higher volume than we ever had during the sell-off. And right back at it over here. Nothing but green bars. Look at this. Every 2 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 2-hour bars in a row. Green. It's just insane strength from Bitcoin. There's really no other way to put it. So looks like we're gonna flag out here. We're gonna go sideways. We're gonna stay under this trend line. I would assume at this moment in time. That's really what it looks like. We're starting to lose a little bit of momentum. The volume's starting to dwindle. No one really wants to push it into new highs. They kind of got their fill down here under 5,400. You can see that's really where the volume is the highest, is under 5,400. On either side of that, it basically tapers off. So under 5,400 is your major support right now. And yeah, if we get back down there, could be another good place to enter. But like I said, we have the fork. Actually, I think it's in a week. I think someone mentioned in my live stream today it was in a week or so. So Bitcoin is king. Ethereum kind of making moves in kind, and I was doing some numbers earlier today, and it's not going to hold up now, but Bitcoin and Ethereum were up the same percentage from the low to the high. That was earlier today, though. Since then, we've had a couple red bars here in Ethereum, so this is probably still up 9%. Bitcoin's probably about 11% at this point in time. But look at where Ethereum is just sitting. It's just sitting down here. And we talked about in the live stream earlier today that Ethereum has this large symmetrical triangle that it's going to have to work out. Let's draw this here for you. So just this large symmetrical triangle that's going to have to get worked out, and it's really not going to do much until this is consolidated, which is going to happen towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, more than likely. I mean, it could happen anytime in the fourth quarter, but these usually get resolved just before these two trend lines hit. In very strong cases, very strong coins, they'll break to the upside. So really anything can happen in here. We do look for action on lower term time frames, but generally the larger term time frame will prevail, and this is just going to do weird stuff for the time being. This being weird stuff, right? We had a nice pop up, then we popped right back down and had a nice bottoming day, showing action on top and bottom, bull and bear. And that's really what a symmetrical triangle figures out for us. The symmetrical triangle figures out who's in control, the bulls or the bears. Ripple kind of got hammered and so far isn't really recovering at all. There was some news coming out of the Ripple Swell Conference saying basically they can use Ripple without using XRP. So that is not a positive for the currency. Even if Ripple the company does well, keep in mind this is not Ripple the company, this is XRP the currency. So something completely different, and something that really could tank if XRP is not needed. Keep that in mind, is not needed. Now, you cannot separate Ether from the Ethereum network. You can't separate Bitcoin from the Bitcoin network, but apparently you can separate XRP from the Ripple network, which, pretty crappy for the Ripple developers to make that way in terms of investments for us, but it is what it is, and we have to deal with the consequences. So at least for me, for the time being, I'm not even going to touch Ripple. If it gets another bad news on that, it could just have a really bad drop. And this was pretty significant. I mean, this was a significant drop. So Litecoin in kind with Bitcoin rose up, came down, had a nice bottoming bar here. A lot of these quality coins kind of have these bottoming bars here. So we just kind of have to wait and see if this is a short-term bottom, and we're not going to retest this. This is a pretty impressive, if you look at this, this is a pretty impressive candle on Litecoin and some other coins as well. Even on Bitcoin, that's a very impressive candle. Look at that. That is a hammer. That came all the way back down, all the way back up, and closed at the top. So that's very impressive price action. That is what you call strength. When we say invest in leading coins, invest in strength, this is kind of what we're talking about right here. All right, so not much else really going on in the market. There are a few really small coins that are moving, but most of these moves are being faded at this moment in time. It looks like some bottoms are trying to form, but nothing has really been able to move out of the bottom quite yet. We had a good move in Monero the other day that got sold into in this larger term channel that I drew the other day, and it's just chopping around here. Now we're down here. Hopefully it goes back up. Maybe it chops around for a while. It's anyone's guess at this moment in time. Dash is doing something interesting. Dash had kind of a bottoming candle with a little bit of a sell-off here, but the price action in Dash recently has been quite benign in terms of Bitcoin. So hopefully Dash is just kind of coming into its own, and I really think we're going to see a movement on the break of this trend line in Dash. That could be something good for a trade. Keep an eye out for that. Could be for a couple of weeks though. So we can see here it goes until about November at the current price level and where this trend line hits. So just keep that in the back of your mind. OMG Go, living at these lows, really not doing much at this moment in time. Volume is very benign, really no movement up or down in OMG Go, just really flat. Everyone forgot about it, and this could be good for the future. Not saying a break of this trend line will cause a move, but it is a possibility. OMG Go is a very quality coin, and so we'll just have to keep an eye on this one. And everyone loves to talk about NEO, and NEO's put a couple of nice fakes in on us recently. This was a little fake. We're on the one-day chart here. That's why this looks pretty. A lot of people trade on 1 hour charts. This is a one-day chart, so bear with me here. But NEO had a pretty good fake out here. You look at this volume right here. Then it came right back in. Another fake out up here, and we came right back in. So NEO faking out, you need to look for price confirmation somewhere before we can get heavily invested into NEO again. There's been some interest in QDM lately, but QDM has just been failing us. Inverted head and shoulders. There was this kind of symmetrical triangle on the lower term time frames is what this looked like here. That failed, this failed, that trend line failed. So QDM is just failing. And that's kind of the story with most of these altcoins, really. Not too much going on. I mean, Lisk is trending downward, just kind of sitting at lows, not doing anything. Steam had a pretty interesting day yesterday, but then just, dojied on us and going nowhere. I mean, really much ado about nothing here, but really Bitcoin is the strength in the market. Maybe it's the fork, maybe it's not. More than likely about 60 to 80% of it is. But we'll have to wait and see what happens if we get back up towards 6,000 and see what happens at that particular level. But overall, Bitcoin looking spectacular. We'd like to see some more strength out of Ethereum, but we have this symmetrical triangle to contend with, so let's just deal with that reality. All right, guys, that's about it. I'll see you tomorrow in the live stream. Please subscribe if you enjoy the videos. Like the video if you like the video, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.